What's the good word, gentlemen, viewers? Hated Greatness. Right into Koutetsujou no Kabaneri episode 12. Just watched it. It's the series finale or season finale. I'm hoping it's season finale, especially with how it ended. It can't end this way. I really wish I could sit here and say this episode was hype, but man, especially with after what happened in the 2 episodes, not even the 4 episodes leading up to this, I have to say this episode was a disappointment overall. And here's why I say that. The beginning of the episode, great. The music was fire. By the way, the music at the end of episode 11 that led into the credits, fire. The music in this episode was amazing. The music in the beginning of the episode was amazing. And what happens in the beginning is amazing. You see Koutetsujou and Ikoma again, back to back, like the cover of Lethal Weapon, out there putting hands, putting palms, putting steel, putting anything they can on Kabaneri. Bopping cat. Fire. It was dope. It was dope. You have to watch it. It's an amazing sequence. There's a sequence where, I don't know who animates Koutetsuju's blade work at Wit Studios, but they deserve a raise. Because every time you see him doing techniques, it looks so clean and so realistic and so beautiful. I'm an animation kind of buff. I notice stuff like that. So it was very well done. The episode itself, here's why it was disappointing. It doesn't feel complete. Even if this is just season 1, they didn't really wrap up things. There's still a lot of questions they didn't really address. Like, there's a scene where you see that stone that I mentioned early in the series for Ikoma that he had tied around his hand for a period of time. And that stone apparently was a keepsake he got from his friend in the past. You find out was actually his sister, I believe, who passed. And then I'm sitting there thinking, well, maybe the stone means something to Kabaneri, because Mume would say, what is that made of? What is that? Because every time you hit me with it, it hurts. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe that's some secret weapon. That's just a stone. They don't explain it. We still don't know. All I know is that there's a sequence where it falls out of Mume's hand because she had it somehow. What? And it falls into the water, and that wakes him up. Ikoma was on his G in this episode. He was just balling. There was a sequence where he essentially uses you see the power that he possesses on full display, but it's unfortunate. You realize, well, it's not going to be permanent. This is the last time you're going to see it. When a train tries to hit him and it doesn't work, something happens. Watch the episode to see it. Basically, Ikoma defies physics with just willpower because of the form that he's in right now. He doesn't look as cool right now either. It's like once it mellowed out, and it's like just kind of whack looking. It's like they look like the Borg from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. It's just like, what? Why? Like, not that they looked whack for the show. It didn't, but it doesn't fit with this show. If you get what I'm saying. So it just looked so cool at the end of episode 11. To see how it kind of mellowed out for 12 was kind of whack. We see a lot with Biba, literally, and they did this in the last episode, but you see it again in this episode. Him sitting on that throne that his father sat on. It's just cool to see, like, this guy is like, when plans are coming to fruition, I've gotten everything I want. But what does he do? Like, he sits in that chair for a while, then he stands up and looks out into the yonder and says, I wonder what I'll destroy next. Like, his plans weren't just to end at Kongo Kana. Like, that wasn't it for him. He had plans afterward, which is why he also had an escape route. But then you find out with what happens at the end of the episode, it's kind of like, oh, like what? Again, like, you see, so there's so many fights that I wanted to see happen that we don't get to see happen. I wanted to see my man, the younger dude that was fighting with them, that Koutetsujou had that altercation with when he stabbed the bug, and he thought he was trying to harm Ayame, but he wasn't. He was literally trying to stab a bug. The guy, he's younger, he seems semi-compassionate to people, but at the same time, he seems loyal to his cause. I want to see that dude fight. You don't see him fight, like, not at all in this episode. But we know he survives. I wanted to see more. I wanted to see more people not named Ikoma and Koutetsujou fight. I wanted to see more of the people on the Koutetsujou step up and do stuff. And we don't really get to see them do much in this episode, honestly. The only one that does is Ayame. And again, she's that pillar of light. She steps up, throws herself in the front line, and reminds people, hold on to your humanity. The rules, the order, these things are created to protect ourselves. Stop pointing your weapons at the wrong people. Point them at the true enemy. Let's work together. She does. She reminds them. She does this with her words. She's a very powerful, very inspiring woman in that world. And she's a cool character. I like Ayame a lot, actually. And she grew. I liked her from the beginning, and she just became cooler as the series went on. Like, she wasn't that kind of, Mary Sue kind of boring. Like, no, like, here's a woman, a female character that's powerful in a way that is different from how you would make a male character powerful. Like, she completely contrasts Koutetsujou, and they balance each other perfectly. Like, that pairing makes sense when I think about it. Here's Koutetsujou, this guy who thinks about fighting, he trains all day, and he's duty bound. And then here's Ayame, someone who is worthy of him being duty bound to her. Because she's a woman of principle, her strength comes in her ability to communicate, to influence, and to be about what she says. Ayame is one of the coolest characters in the series, honestly. This episode was a downer for me. This was really disappointing after the 3 to 4 episodes that led up to it. The conclusion, the fight between Akoma and Biba, was like, it was over too quickly, and it was handled in a very cliche way. And what bothered me the most about it is, early you see, in episode 11, Akoma says what? He said, I'm going to do 2 things. He even kind of reiterates this in this episode. I'm going to save Mume. I'm going to kill Biba. That's why he injected himself with the accelerant, with the black blood. That's why he came together and was willing to die in the first place. But you find out that that's not even what happens. When you watch the episodes, it's like, wait a minute. They don't even get to actually finish their fight together. Mume does it, and the way she does it, it's I don't know. It's revealed finally that indeed Biba is a Kabaneri, which is weird because he didn't really seem to show any of the benefits of being a Kabaneri. He just seemed like a very talented fighter. But yeah, he's a Kabaneri. Akoma loses his arm in the last episode. And in this episode, something very similar happens to Biba. So I don't know if there's a reason for that. Let me know in the comments below if you think that there's a tie-in in terms of symbolism or something. I'm not sure. It pains me to say this. I have to get this 7 out of 10 for this episode, dude. 7, 6.5, 7 for this episode. Like, this episode was really a downer. And this is one of those cases where the ending of a series is so disappointing to me. It's not even that it's bad, because this isn't a bad episode of anime. It's not bad. It's just so disappointing for what it could have been that it tarnishes the entire series for me. Like, going into this series was at a 9 out of 10. It is like a 9, 8.5, 9 out of 10 in that region. Now, I'm like, this episode might bring it down to a 8, 8.5. I know that's still good, but this went from being one of the best anime I've seen in a long time. One of the best non-sports, kind of anime. One of those anime, like, because this is an anime this type of anime I don't usually get into. It's one of those series that's made to appeal to everyone, and I usually don't like stuff that appeals to everyone because I'm not everyone. I'm me. I like stuff that appeals to me. So I like sports anime. I like mystery anime. I like thriller anime. Stuff like like Hajime no Ippo to Monster to Initial D and everything in between. This was one of those things I was really hesitant in the beginning, like I told you guys, and then it just wowed me and brought me in. The way it ended, I was kind of like, man, I don't know. It's really disappointing. But then there's all these other questions I have too. Like, okay, after the town after Kokonkana is completely destroyed, they escape on the train using the path that Biba was going to use to escape, which he doesn't, obviously. And then they leave. And I'm sitting there thinking, where are they going? Like, they haven't mentioned any other like powerful or important fortresses or landmarks or anything like that. Though the interesting thing is, in the beginning of every episode, at the end of the opening theme, they show you the entire outline of all of Japan. So maybe this is something all of Japan is going through, and they're going to end up traveling throughout all of Japan. So maybe if there is season 2, and I pray that what the studio does season 2, there has to be another season for this, and it can't be 12 episodes. Next season has got to be 20. Give us 24, please. But yeah, maybe the next season we'll be going to other parts of the world. The Kabaneri are still a problem. Like, we haven't seen an end or resolution to them. They're still all over the place. So there's still a problem that needs to be solved. Ikoma still needs to come up with a solution for the Kabaneri problem. And then there's how I was prepared as a viewer of this series to see Ikoma do what he said he was going to do, fight and die. Even if there was a season 2, I wanted there to be a season 2, and then you move on with the characters that remain. A, that would give more characters time to shine, and B, it would really impact people. It would leave something strong to impact people watching it, to kind of remind them, like, this is a quality series. This is a series where there's no sacred cows. The strong overtones of the world. It's a mature series, and yet that's not what happens. It's one of those things where the good guys can't really die, and how he lives doesn't. Comment. Let me know below how. I still don't understand it. He was supposed to die. I know that Biba had one more of the white blood cure, but why would he inject Ikoma with it? Like, because Mume says, "Oh, my brother did this," and I'm like, "Well, when did he do this?" Because I didn't see it happen, and he was getting bopped in that fight. And then when Ikoma basically cured you, and then after that was basically dead for all intents and purposes, he was walking toward him to stab him, to kill him, and he was a distance away, and he never made it there. Mume intercepts him. I don't know when he did it. I don't know why he did it. I don't know how he did it, but apparently somehow Ikoma survives. Then it leaves other questions. Is Ikoma still a Kabaneri? I don't know, because he was injected with the white blood cells, right? And it looked like he was cured, because all the deformations and the growths on his body started to recede, and even the heart area that is supposed to show the Kabaneri heart that Kabaneri have started to vanish. So I'm like, so is he not a Kabaneri anymore? Is Mume a Kabaneri still? I assume that she is, because she was fighting as if she was still a Kabaneri. And she says earlier, she wouldn't be able to do the thing. She said earlier in the series, she wouldn't be able to fight and do the things she could do if she was not a Kabaneri. Otherwise, she'd be an ordinary girl. But she was flipping and jumping and throwing people. And so I'm assuming she's still a Kabaneri. So is Ikoma? I have no idea. Hopefully there's another season. Maybe my opinions of this will change when season 2 gets announced and they answer more questions or things. But right now, because I don't know if there's going to be a season 2, I'm just really disappointed in how this ended. And I think that's fair to say. I'm pretty sure I won't be the only person to feel this way. If you differ, let me know below. Explain these questions I have. Explain how Ikoma survived, or when Biba cured him, or why Biba would cure him. Explain why the young guy and the other people who were so loyal to Biba throughout the entire series, all of a sudden were just not loyal to him and decided to go work with them on a Koutetsujou. Like, what? Why? From what they saw, Biba-sama's plan was working to a T. So, why would they just betray him all of a sudden and work with him? I am lost. I don't, there's so many questions here. They didn't explain anything. It feels rushed. I'm gonna say it feels like it was kind of rushed. I'm not sure. But yeah, that was Koutetsujou no Kabaneri. Again, solid 8 out of 10. Solid 8 out of 10. I don't know. I might binge watch the whole thing and see if I feel differently. But I don't know. This episode really, really disappointed me. And the timing of it isn't very good either, because some of my favorite anime is coming back with a new season. So Shokugeki no Soma is back. So in fact, you'll be seeing me doing videos of that every time the episode comes out. In fact, right after this, I'm recording the review for episode 1 and then another review for episode 2. And those will be going up the day after these 2 episodes go up. I'm not sure. I'm going to do an entire review of the first season of Boku no Hero Academia, because everyone told me to do so. Everyone tells me to give it another chance, because I stopped after episode 2. It wasn't that amazing to me. I'm going to do an entire review of Joker Game, because I kept up with it. It's just I didn't keep reviewing it because I wanted to kind of perfect my craft, so to speak, before I started adding more projects. So I figured I'd focus on this one, get better equipment, which I've done with the camera. Still need to get a better microphone. I'm working on it. And now a new external hard drive. Good job. Yeah, so you're going to see, I'm going to do an entire series review for Joker Game, entire series review for Boku no Hero Academia. I'm going to do an entire series review for My Oiga, an entire series review for ReZero. There you go. And then Thunderbolts, I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do every episode of Thunderbolts. That was amazing. Thunderbolt was amazing. The other Gundam show that I'm watching now, the other Gundam that I'm watching is amazing. I'm reading Kingdom, and let me know below how you want me to review Kingdom. I'm not sure if I should do like maybe every 100 chapters after I get through. I'll do a video talking about it. Let me know. I'm not sure. If there's other anime you want me to watch, tell me. I'll review an entire series. In fact, that's going to be the thing here. Enough people suggest a series, I'll go watch it in series if I can find it, and then do a video review and tell you what I think about it. Actually, someone suggested Ore Imo, this anime about this brother and sister who have this really, really weird connection where like they weren't friends at all in the beginning, and then he accidentally finds out that his sister is into eroge, erotic games essentially. And your sister is supposed to be this goody two shoes perfect girl, and you're like, wait, why are you into this? It's confusing. And they kind of unite over that. Solid. I'm hooked. I watched all season 1, and I think I'm 4 episodes into season 2. I might do a review on that. Who knows? I probably should actually, since it was suggested to me, and that's why I started watching it. But if you have an anime or manga you want me to review, let me know. I'll find it and I'll do it. The type, genre doesn't really matter to me. Even if it's something bad, oh god, I'll watch it just to review it. I'm not against watching, how do you say, adult anime, if you will. So I might have dabbled. I'm gonna keep it 100. Yeah, I watch it. I watch this stuff all the time. Why even lie? Like you guys know me, so you know. But anyway, bring the suggestions. I'll check them out. And thanks for watching, man. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate the people who have subscribed. Hit the like button below as well. Spread this to your friends. And as always, Hated Greatness. Peace.